Okay, actually, what am I thinking? Gobble gobble, everybody. Okay, so let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. I mean, my low, yes, it isn't so much as it is a low, but it is a bit, annoying. Because last night during the Masked Singer, the theme was a Fright Night, and I'm watching it with my old man. And every now and again, my dad was like, "Why didn't they do this for Halloween?" Which, yeah, I get why he was saying that, but come on, man, it's a show. You can live a little. It's fun. He actually then asked me why I like the show, and I don't think I've ever really elaborated why I like The Masked Singer, have I? Well, full disclosure, I like the costumes. I like the mystery aspect. I like the judges. I like the music choices. I mean, yeah, say what you want about Nick Cannon, but I've always been a fan of his. Plus, he has the same first name as I do, so I've always been like, if anyone has the same first name as I do, I immediately have to be a fan of theirs. So, plus, I remember when Nick Cannon was on all that. He was great on all that. Just throwing that out there. So my high is I was treated to a very wonderful, wonderful evening of watching The Masked Singer. And my act of kindness was yesterday was garbage day. Well, I had to do a few things. One, yesterday was garbage day, so I had to bring in the recycle bin and the giant trash can. I actually had to go to my folks' place because one of my mom's ovens is busted. Like, cause my mom is one of those double decker ovens, and it's the bottom oven that's like being kind of finicky. So they had a guy come and fix it, and I had to be there and open the door for him. So I did that. I also helped my mom prepare for the Thanksgiving we're going to be having. We're doing something we're doing the Thanksgiving thing on Sunday, but we're going to have like a small family get together on, Friday. So that'll be nice. So yeah, I did like several acts of kindness yesterday, and it felt really good. Honestly, I felt like it was a nice omen to prepare for Thanksgiving, which is today. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So yeah, sorry, I think I'm coming down a little bit, so I don't know. So last night, The Masked Singer, the theme was Fright Night. So obviously the songs had to be either scary sounding or fit with the theme, and the two new contestants that appeared on stage were scared of it. I mean, the snowstorm had to return because she is the queen, and she had to defend her crown and everything. And she did "Sweet But Psycho" by Ava Max, which I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I hear that song, "psycho" is like the only word I understand. Like, no kidding. That was the first time I legit heard the lyrics to "Psycho." That was spoken like clearly. I don't know. So I'm not hearing it on the radio. It doesn't really work for me like it should. Like, I really gotta go out of my way to look up the lyrics for a song and learn it that way for me. I mean, for example, one of my favorite songs is "Hey Ya" by Outkast, which if you ever look online, you'll often see type your birthday and your song for that year has to be like the hit song of like that particular year. And like "Hey Ya" by Outkast is like the #1 song of 2003. So I really like that song. Plus I love Andre 3000. Any class of 3000 fans out there, anyone? I'm sure there's some of you out there. So wow, I'm getting very exaggerated. So the snowstorm did a "Psycho" by Ava Max, and the two new contestants were Sir Bugaboo, who did "Devil with the Blue Dress" on by Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. And it was funny. I was gonna ask my dad if he knew that song, But right when I was about to ask, he immediately started singing along with the song that was going on. I was like, I was going to ask if you knew that stuff, but you clearly knew. That was funny. And, I mean, my dad is so judgmental sometimes because he didn't really think Sir Bugaboo was like that great. I mean, I thought everyone was fine who sang last night. It's just my dad's standards are a bit higher than mine. So he didn't really think Sir Bugaboo sounded that great. Now, the Scarecrow who came next did Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. Now, Scarecrow, she was incredible. Like, she actually walked up to the judges and scared Ken. That was great. That was funny. That was like really funny. But speaking of the Scarecrow, she got eliminated first, but not because people chose her to leave. She willingly unmasked herself, saying thank you to the people of The Masked Singer for giving us a good show and for giving us an opportunity for 1 hour a week to sort of unwind and forget about our troubles, which, yeah, that's another reason why I like The Masked Singer, because it does exactly that. And, man, when they said this was a horror-themed episode, they weren't kidding, because the Scarecrow was none other than the star of The Exorcist herself, Linda Blair. If you don't know what The Exorcist is, it is arguably considered the scariest movie ever made. In fact, years ago, back when the Nostalgia Critic, this is like around the time when like the Nostalgia Critic or Doug Walker was really starting to pick up steam as the Nostalgia Critic. Like, I think he was probably 2.5, 3 years into what he's doing now. He did the top 11 scariest performances of all time. And he always does top 11 because he likes to go one step beyond. Reagan, played by Linda Blair, was number 1. Reagan from The Exorcist, who's played by Linda Blair, was number 1. Enough said. And it's Linda Blair. She's a legend. She's Reagan. Here's the thing, I've never seen The Exorcist. I'm not a horror guy, I'm sorry. But I can only imagine how many people her character simply just terrorized over the years for people who watch The Exorcist. Like, I actually asked because I was talking this over with my dad, a lot of people consider either Exorcist or Texas Chainsaw Massacre as like the scariest movie ever made. I asked him, like, which of those two do you think is scarier? He's like, I don't know. I'll tell you what movie I think is really scary is the original Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, which, yeah, I believe that. I mean, I'll never forget when Chris Stuckman did his review for the original Halloween. The reason why he didn't give it an A+ really was because everything about that movie is great with one exception: the acting. The acting in that movie, according to Chris Stuckman, is terrible. But, he didn't give it, but he got an A. A is good. I mean, the only really great thing about a movie that Chris Stuckman reviews giving it an A+ is when he gives an A+, you hear like an angelic chorus like, ah. Whenever I hear that, I'm just like, he's given several A+ in the past. I mean, if he was doing one of those reviews for The Sandlot, he would have given that an A+. Shawshank Redemption, he gave an A+ to. Forrest Gump, he gave an A+ to. Even some modern movies, like the first Avengers movie, Mad Max Fury Road. Yeah, so he's given some A+ before. Whiplash, he gave an A+ to as well. So he's ran the gambit of like the kinds of movies he's given A+ to. I don't think he's ever done a review of The Exorcist. I wonder what grade he'd give it. I don't know, I mean, Chris Stuckman, on the very slim chance you're watching this, if you haven't already done a review of The Exorcist, I'd like to see what kind of grade you'd give it. I mean, it is considered to be the scariest movie ever made. if anyone could figure out if it lived up to that hype, it'd be you, right? Okay, enough about that. I gotta get to the battle royale, which was between the Snowstorm and Sir Bugaboo. And okay, funny story about this song, because we all have those songs that we hear all the time, where like you hear the tune and maybe you understand some of the lyrics, but you have no idea how the song goes. And this was another instance of that, because hold on a second. Yeah, I accidentally moved my notes. Hold on. The song was "Somebody's Watching Me" by Rockwell. That's another one of those songs where like I hear the tune and maybe I understand some of the lyrics. I have no idea what the words are. So yeah, I finally got to hear "Sweet But Psycho" and "Somebody's Watching," both sung by the Snowstorm, and wouldn't you know it, the Snowstorm kept her title. She's still queen, and I do believe the semifinals are tonight. I can't wait for that. But before I get into finishing this up and doing my NFL picks, I gotta talk about Sir Bugaboo. Sir Bugaboo wound up being Ray Parker Jr., who most people would know as the guy who wrote the Ghostbusters theme song. So for the artist formerly known as Sir Bugaboo, Ray Parker Jr. ended the episode with singing the Ghostbusters song. Ghostbusters, there's something strange in your neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Yes, that song is awesome. Seriously, who doesn't know that song? I know that song. That's a great song. Although it was funny. Remember how I mentioned earlier that my dad didn't think Sir Bugaboo sounded really good? Because he was stunned that it was Ray Parker Jr., Sir Bugaboo. And then he's like, oh my God, no wonder why he doesn't sound like he used to. He's old. I'm thinking, you're one to talk. We're going to be celebrating seriously, we're going to be celebrating my father's birthday in a couple months. Like, everybody gets old, man. That's just how it is. I'm going to get old one day. But no matter how old I get or whatever happens to me, I'm still going to be me. And, yeah, who am I kidding? Of course I'm going to be making these videos. Because it's fun and exciting. I think it's a little exciting. Sometimes exciting things happen. Or I talk about some exciting things that happens. So, there you go. Now, before I sign off, I have some NFL picks to make. Listen, it's Thanksgiving. Of course I know who play. Of course, at the very least, I know that the Detroit Lions play and my Dallas Cowboys play. And for those first two games, I know who's playing who. So it's the Detroit Lions versus the Buffalo Bills. Come on, of course I'm going to be picking the Bills to win. The Bills are due for another win. They need one. Especially when right now they're like the 5th seed or like the 6th seed. So, yeah, right now it's not looking good for the Bills. But I think the Bills can turn around, and it has to start with a win today. Another team that absolutely needs to win, actually, both the Giants and the Cowboys need to win to solidify any kind of dominance in the air. Seriously, if the playoffs were to start right now, pretty much the entirety of the NFC East, including the Washington Commanders, would probably get in. I mean, I know the Eagles right now are the number 1 seed. They're in no problem. Dallas and the Giants, who both play today against each other, they could also be in. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that Eagles are number 1. This game is going to decide who's either the 5th or the 6th seed. And as much as I would love to see my Dallas Cowboys get a home playoff game, I don't think that's going to happen. But if they are one of the wild cards, I think if they play the Bucs again, they can win. So obviously, I was going to pick my Cowboys to win anyway. And yeah, I know it's a bit early to think of the playoffs, but there you go. I think it's the Patriots and the Vikings. Let me look this up real fast. Patriots and the Vikings. Is it three? Yes, it is. The Patriots and the Vikings. Okay. That's an easy one. I'm picking the Vikings. Skull Vikings. So, all three teams I'm picking today have iconic cheers. Let's go, Buffalo. How about them Cowboys? Skull Vikings. There we go. I know the Skull chant. Come on, any diehard football fan knows what that is. I mean, you're looking at the guy who, whenever the Raiders win, he does the autumn wind poem. So trust me, of like some of the greatest traditions and facts about like teams, I at least know what they are. Any good football fan should know what they are. I mean, actually, considering I know so much, actually, you know what? I was gonna say, because I'll never forget this saying. Because back when I was in high school, there's like a sort of decree for like people in the audience to read, which says, I mean, basically it's one of those things where like, listen, these are players playing in front of you, they want to do well, and it's great that you're cheering for them, but be smart about it. That's pretty much what it means. Be a fan, not a fanatic. I'm not a fanatic, don't worry. Like, trust me, I pride myself on not being a fanatic. But I look like I could be one. I've been watching Josh Blue stand up. Like, if you don't know who Josh Blue is, he's a really funny comedian who actually has a cerebral palsy. And one of his favorite jokes he opens up with, I'm not really from Denver, Colorado, but I look like I am. I love that. That's funny. Yeah. I'm not really from Elmira, New York, but actually, technically, I grew up in Big Flats. But I live in Elmira, so there you go. I really should have like, I don't live in Elmira, New York. Or I'm not from Elmira, New York, but I look like I am. Actually, with my kin, of course, I look like I'm from upstate New York. Upstate New York, at least. I know I look like that. Where from upstate New York, though? Who knows? Well, I just gave it away, so. You know, I'm just going to relax in the morning before I go see my dad. And then we're going to go see our family later this afternoon for Thanksgiving. We're really excited. Just going to sit back, relax, maybe watch some. Actually, I could probably watch. Actually, it's 8:40 right now. I could watch the parade. I might just do that. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, follow me, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video. For all the guys watching, enjoy for the a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And remember, for any of you guys want to talk to channel, we'll be here to lend you. And I'll always be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.